All right, Crystal. I'm so excited to chat with you. Thank you so much for just taking the time out of your schedule to have a conversation with me about your experience in Design to Profit. You're a freaking rock star. And I can't wait to hear all the things. So, first things first, do you want to introduce yourself? Let us know a little bit about you and your business.
Yes, of course. So my name is Crystal Potrial, and I am the owner and web designer and brand designer behind K and Co Creative Designs. And so I've been in business about a little over 6 years. I've been doing design for about 8 years. In business for six. And so I'm in year six. And of course, like we're getting ready to talk about, things are going crazy now in a good way in year six. And so I'm just excited to, be able to talk about what all's been going on because it's been mind blowing.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So let's just do this. Let's dive in. So you've been in business for 6 years. And let's see, how long, let's see, what is it? I guess about the last 5 months is when since we've been working together, right? Something like that.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So
Since
was
yeah,
it May?
I feel like no, it was definitely before May. I feel like it was in March when we actually, or in April,
April. Okay. So
end of April or
it's been
something like
about,
that when
yeah,
we started
six,
working.
6, 7 months. Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me, prior to just kind of entering into this space with me and learning from me in my program, um, what were you like? What was the state of your business for the past 6 years? What was your struggle before Design to Profit?
Um, well, I had lots of different struggles because it
Okay.
was a hot mess, but one of the biggest ones was just first of all, really earning a living.
Mm,
Like saying this business is earning me a living. At one point, just for perspective, at one point in my business, I was saying if I could even just make like 30 grand a year, I would be happy.
yeah.
Which sounds crazy now to say that, but it was literally like I just want to feel like I'm actually earning and like contributing to my household. So that was part of it. And then it was dealing with, having really no process because like a lot of people, I kind of just started doing it and started saying, okay, I can do logos and I can do websites. I can do all of these things. And so I had absolutely no process either. And so I knew I had all these deliverables that I was going to get to clients at some point, but it was like we would do the logo and then maybe start with the website and then we're like doing the business cards randomly and stuff like that. So it was like that was creating, it was making me feel like I was like extra busy,
Mhm.
but I wasn't making any money too, and so it's like all over the place.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
like I can relate to all of
It's
that.
like hair on fire, like, no.
Right. So
Yeah.
just kind of diving into this world of design, your own
Mhm.
business, not having a process, which you were feeling busy, but maybe things like
Yeah.
weren't getting accomplished in a timely manner, and then getting paid, like just kind of, yeah. I definitely have been on that boat, and it makes you feel,
Mhm.
because I'm self-taught and you're self-taught, right? Yeah.
I went to a graphic design school,
Okay.
but they didn't go in, it was a tech school. So it wasn't like a full out, we didn't go into process and all of that. It was
Yeah.
more like, let's teach you how to do Adobe Illustrator and how to do, some processes in design as far as like, some of the mental process, but not really like taking a client through something.
Okay. I don't know why I didn't know you went to design school.
Probably because I don't ever talk about it because
Right.
girl,
But
I
you
be
were
all
so
in my head about stuff. And I'm like, it was just a tech school. It's nothing, not a big deal.
but we talk
Um,
about that in Design to Profit, saying
yes.
just and discounting. But
Like
anyway,
I need to go back to lesson
go back
two.
to yeah, exactly. But that's a great point too, because I'm self-taught and just dove into things and didn't know how to
Mhm.
actually take a client through a process or even have a process. And so even you
Mhm.
having gone to school, you still had that same struggle.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
that's super
Yeah.
interesting. It doesn't matter if you're self-taught or you went to school. Like, this is learning the business side of a design business is
Yeah.
not something that we're taught. And it's hard,
Yes.
right? Like, no one teaches that. Okay, so let me segue into, how did that make you feel? Knowing, like, you have this background in design, yet you didn't feel equipped with a process or a streamlined anything to get to the end result. What did that feel like?
It felt super frustrating, and for me, especially coming from military and the flying world, is a checklist, everything. It really made me feel out, like just out of whack, and off balance in my business, and like, like I wasn't. I don't know. It made it not feel like a real business, I guess,
Mm,
because I didn't have a process. It felt like I'm just doing this on a whim. I'm like, that girl Crystal does logos. You know what I mean? But not really feeling like it was an actual business because that process was lacking.
oh my gosh. And so, feeling like it wasn't a real business, how did that affect the way that you talked to clients or tried to sell your services or showed up online?
Girl. Well, that was me barely, like, really not showing up online at all. And just kind of posting, just being there every now and then. But as far as showing up for clients, I was showing up like that, like I thought they were probably thinking about me, which is like that girl that just does logos, or hey, here's Crystal's number, she does this. And so I was showing up to them, saying, oh, I'll just charge, making up numbers in my head. I'll just charge, $200 for the logo or whatever, and that was high at the time. But yeah, just
So, just kind
all
of
over the
winging
place.
it, just kind of, you
Yeah.
know, yeah, I get that. And then I could
Not
hear when you
feeling like
said, like,
but
oh, I'll just charge, like, kind of that
yeah,
confidence in even charging something that seemed high that was actually not high at all. So, just
yeah.
the way that you showed
And
up.
then I had people having the nerve to give me pushback on that. And I think it was because of the way I was coming across,
Mm,
that it was like, I wasn't even
they
sure
can
about
take
my
it.
prices, so they weren't.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. And I hear that all the time, and I definitely struggle with that. It's like you have a great conversation, then when you get to the price, it's you kind of drop the
Yeah.
ball. Um,
Exactly.
I totally get that. Let
Yeah.
me ask you, had you ever, like, joined another program or worked with another coach before Designs Profit?
No.
No.
Uh-uh.
Okay.
No.
What
No, I
what
had
held you back?
first of all, okay, I had never like towards the beginning of my business, I had never really even thought known that it was like normal to do that. And I don't know that if it was just coming out of like I didn't come from corporate. I came from like military. It was like we don't do like coaching and stuff like that. It's like what? So I just really didn't even that world was not even really opened up to me until later on. And then when it was more so not even business coaching. It was more so people saying you need to get coaching for like mindset stuff, which I used to have a lot of blocks and stuff around that because just growing up, we didn't go to therapy and stuff like that. It was like, what? If you was going to therapy, then something was wrong. So
Yeah.
it was like, and my mind just wasn't totally, I guess, open or, to stuff like that. And part of it was, my own things, but part of it too was just not knowing about it, I think, for a long time.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, like, today, like, it's kind of it's known, but 6 years ago, and even when I started 10 years ago,
Yeah.
those
Hmm.
things weren't even available. So when
Yeah.
you realized, like, coaching was a thing, what made you say, oh, I like, this is something that I need? What was it? Did you think about, like, how your business could change or your life could change? What was it that made you decide, oh, I need to invest in coaching and in my
Yeah.
business?
Let me see. Okay. The first time that I kind of came across someone talking about that, the lady was talking more so about like mindset set stuff, but she was talking about like business stuff as well. And I was like, huh, I guess that's a thing, you know what I mean? And then literally like that was a year ago. And then literally during the pandemic is when I came across you, because you were talking at I don't remember what platform it was, but you were talking at some like a online virtual,
Yeah.
thing, yeah, a summit, yeah. And so I literally, what attracted me to you was immediately was that I felt like you had been where I was. And
Mm,
it was like, okay, like this is someone who is like works in my field, okay, and she is successful. It's not like someone that like does something completely different than me. It was kind of like, yes, being able to see myself in you, to say, I see that, her doing this is like helped her do this. So I don't know. That was why I was like, okay, I think I need to take a chance on this.
oh gosh, I love that because it's like sometimes you need, like, you see all these successful influencers and all this kind of stuff out there, but
Yes.
it's like, but they don't do what I do. Like, we're special. I need to see
Yeah.
someone who's done what I've done in the field, is designing, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that makes so much sense. I want to know though. So when you
Mhm.
joined the program, when, like, can you take me to the moment when you realize, like, oh, this is actually working, like the program, the content, the coaching, the community, all of this is like, you, when was that like pivotal moment and what was it?
It was literally, well, I'll tell you that every month, or every module that I went through, it seemed like I would see like some kind of jump in revenue. It was like, okay, I did this module and I made $400 more than I ever have. I mean, I'm talking, I was looking at everything. And then and then it was like, okay, I did this module and I've made like 1,000 more than I ever have. And I think it was like in June when we did that, like our quarterly attraction meeting. And I came in there like so excited because I think I was at like 3,000 something. And I hadn't made that much in my business in a single month. It was crazy, in 6 years. Good
Yeah.
Lord. And so literally, I came into that meeting so excited and I was like, oh my God. And I just felt like, okay, this is going to be super good, because during that meeting, everything that you walked us through, I immediately like put it on my board and started implementing it. And literally, I think the next time that I talked to you was like halfway through the month of July, and I was already at like 12,000. And then I ended up making like 16K in July. And I was like,
The pandemic.
okay.
What? Okay. Okay, so hold on.
I was like,
Okay.
this is working.
So let's just recap. You had been in
Okay.
business for 6 years,
Yeah.
and in June, you were at your highest month in six years. So just over 3K, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
And we did a planning, we mapped out, what your goals are and how you're going to do it. And you went from your highest month ever, 3K plus, to the next month, 16,000.
Yes, $16,000. Like,
That's
believe
cash
me,
in the bank. That's cash in the bank, right? Like money.
that's cash in the bank.
Yeah.
Cash in the bank.
Okay.
Yes.
And so
Yeah.
all you did though was you went through the modules, you showed
Yep.
up for the coaching, you asked
Mhm.
questions, and you
Yep.
implemented what you learned.
Yep.
That's it.
Yes. And I'm telling you, I literally, my husband was like, you're such a teacher's pet, because I literally printed out everything. Like from day one, I was like, I have to do this. I have to change something like right now. And so literally I printed out everything, put it into a notebook. Like I was doing it like it was a college course, going through those videos. I was like, I got to do this amount per day, because you made us say like how much we were going to do or whatever, or like do the calendar.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, that made a huge difference, because it was like, if you follow this exactly, then you will be successful. Not like just do a few modules and then stop, and then do a few modules and then start back up again and try to go back. No, do it exactly like it's laid out.
Laid out
And
the way
I
it
know
is.
that it worked. Yes,
Oh my
yes.
gosh.
And that's why I think it worked.
So
Or that's why I know it worked.
I love that you said like you took it serious as a college course.
Mhm.
Like, literally, this I have people come to me and I'm like, if you do the work, it works. Like, do it, approach it like your life depends on it. You know,
Yes,
do the work.
and it does, like, I'm telling you, Amber, I was at a point, I'm gonna try to keep it profesh because you know I'm so emo. Um,
Listen,
I was at a point, even like I think I took a picture of that before and put it in one of our forums, but I was looking for jobs at so many different points in my business. I was looking for jobs, feeling like a failure, feeling depressed, like because we all know as business owners that you can't just separate the two. Your business is part of your life, you know what I mean? And it's gonna affect how you feel in both situations. And so literally this is not just, oh my God, I made 10K, my business is successful. This is life changing
yeah,
for me, like this is, I have more confidence, in myself, period, not just in
period.
my business. So yeah, it's definitely been changing for sure.
Yeah, and I say that all the time. Like, your business and your life, like, they have to coexist. And if you have, chaos in one, you can't expect the other
Yeah,
one to thrive. Like, they have to work
right.
together. So thank you for, like, really pointing that out. I want to know, so you said this has changed your life. So tell me, like, what does life look like now that you do have a
Mhm.
process, that you are confident, that you have coaching and you have support and you have community? Um, what does your life and your business look like now versus 6 years ago, or even a year ago, or earlier this year?
Yeah, a year ago, right? um Life definitely looks a lot more organized, first of all, and a lot less of me just walking around with an attitude. I know
Ooh,
it's probably the way to put
ooh,
it. Um,
yes,
and just being kind of like pissed off at the world for no apparent reason because I'm busy and I have a headache and I'm doing all these things and not making any money. So I think that just having a better outlook on life, and really feeling that the things and the dreams and the goals that me and my husband have are like attainable. Like I can see that now and I can believe that that's going to happen. And I think for me, I know that it's not, I guess maybe not business related, or maybe it is, but belief is like huge for me, and feel and like being able to actually set a goal and believe that I can actually hit that goal. Because a year ago, me having a goal of like, oh, I want to have an agency and do all this stuff, that did not feel attainable to me. I could say those words out of my mouth, but I couldn't really see it and feel it and believe it, And I think that for me, a huge difference now is that I can actually feel like I can get there. I can actually see myself and visualize K and Co being an agency and co-working space and all of these dreams that I have for the business. I can actually see that now, which is like huge for me. So
yeah, that just warms my heart.
and you ask my husband, like going back to the attitude part, if you ask my husband, he's like, okay, yeah, that's definitely
That was me. Like, I showed the picture of Amber face. Like, my husband called this face that I was always in a bad mood because I was
yeah.
working my ass off for clients who didn't appreciate me, and,
Yes.
like, they didn't value me. They're not paying me enough, and I'm doing all. It was so bad, and it was just this vicious cycle. And I love that you mentioned, like, now you believe in what is actually possible and that you can do it. And
Yeah.
that's like, if you don't believe it, you'll never achieve it. But
Yeah. Ooh.
the moment, the moment that you finally realize, like, okay, I can do this, that confidence just, it
Mhm.
radiates. And as a result, you attract such a different type of client. Like, you don't even have to work harder. You just have to believe in your damn self.
Yes. Like I was telling my husband the other day, like that lower tier package that I have, that's 7,500, like I feel like I sell that with ease. And he was like, you are so crazy. I'm like, I'm telling you, I feel like when I get on the phone with those, I just know people are gonna, if that's the one I'm suggesting, I know people are just gonna do it because I don't even feel like it's a sales call anymore or anything. It's like that confidence is through the roof now because I believe, so
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
I'm just so excited for you and like everything that you've been able to accomplish in such a short amount of time. Like, so a
Yeah.
16K month, and you've been able to like consistently have these big numbers in your
Yeah, last
I remember
month was a 20K month.
what?
Yeah.
Like, it is so crazy because I remember you telling me like when you hit that first 10K, you were scared the next month. Like, how am I gonna, can I do it again? And you not only did you do it, but you exceeded it. And so like you're like literally the sky is the limit. And
Yeah.
it's because you chose to invest in yourself. But
Yeah.
after that investment, you did the work. Like
Yeah.
that is the only reason that this program does not work is if you do not
Yeah.
do the work. So I
Right.
want to ask you,
Mm.
if someone is on the fence about joining Design to Profit, what would you
Mm.
say to them?
Ooh, I would, ask them how important their business is to them and how important their success and, is to them. And if it's important to them, then they have to do it.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, trying to do it alone is something that I did for years and it does not work. Trying to do it alone doesn't work. You need, if you've been doing it and it's not working, then try something different. They talk about the definition of insanity. So
Doing
at
the
the end
same
of the
thing over and
day,
over again and expecting different results. Like that,
yes,
that ish don't work.
yes,
Okay.
it
Oh,
don't work.
yeah. Oh,
So literally, I would tell somebody to just jump in, go for it, because the thing is that the value that you give in Design to Profit is like unmatched. Because I'm telling you, the things that you give away, I'm like, what? She's telling us this? Oh, and she's showing us that? Like, are you kidding me?
I
Yeah.
literally
So,
hold nothing back. Like my
yeah,
mission is to help other designers
yeah,
make more money, like charge more and actually be
right.
able to get clients that are going to pay for it. Like I'm not just
Mhm.
telling you, oh, just raise your rates. Like, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, raise your rates, but then what?
That's so good.
You know,
Because I've been in contact with other people that are just like, just raise your rates, just raise your rates. And it's about maybe add stuff to your package and raise your
no,
rates.
we take
Or,
stuff out
you
of our
know,
packages and
right.
like,
I know. That's what I love. Because you know what I love is because I think for me, I feel like you have an understanding so much of the career field, and like the fact that other people are just like saying raise your price and add so much stuff. You get the struggle of being too busy, you know what I mean, and associating how much you're doing with that price and stuff like that. That I think you have an understanding of that a lot of other coaches that are not designers won't have. They won't have, I'm not saying that other coaches can't coach designers, but I just think they're not going to have that same kind of perspective that you have. Whereas you can't say raise your price and start adding all this stuff because you're going to be in the same situation.
exactly.
And so I think that's really what I like about your program too, or about Design to Profit as well, is that it's about the value. It's putting value to the forefront
Mhm.
instead of saying, let's add up all these things, and try to compare it to other designers and make sure our package stacks up,
Yeah.
and then, yeah.
Oh
And
my,
also, it's not leaving us on the side after, like you said, after you say raise your prices, then what?
then what?
Okay, process is still jacked up, but so
Exactly.
yeah.
I wanted it to be a holistic approach so that you do get everything that you need. And you mentioned mindset, and I'm really, really big on
Yeah,
mindset
yeah.
because I could literally give you everything I do in a
Mhm.
pretty package, bow, everything. But if your mind ain't right, it ain't gonna work for you. So,
Yeah, yeah.
um,
Because I think I would say that, like, at the beginning of the year, maybe my mindset wouldn't have been ready. I may not have been ready to do it. You know what I mean? I don't know what it was that I needed to change, but I think that there's, a time and a place, obviously. But I think that you going through a lot of the mindset, because it's just like if people would just take the chance and just get in there and see, then they would see that you actually do mindset stuff at the beginning, of the whole thing, which is helpful. It's helpful because, girl, if we would have went straight into process, I might have been like, ooh, I would have been all over the place. So
absolutely. So, if someone is having like a mindset issue and they're like, I don't believe I can, like the numbers that you're hitting, I don't believe I can do that. What would you say? What would you say to them?
I would say that first of all, that's a limiting belief.
Okay.
That's Amber's main thing. That's a
Go back to
limiting,
module 1 and 2.
right. As always, go back. But also just, you know, I would say to them that really, like you said earlier, the sky's the limit and you can make whatever you want to make and whatever you believe that you can make. It's about what are you willing to not sacrifice, but what are you willing to give up or what are you willing to give to get that result?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Are you willing to say, yes, let me get some help? Let me get some coaching. Let me do this or that. Like, what are you willing? Because I think a lot of people are like, oh, I want to hit these big numbers, but they haven't invested anything in themselves at all. They haven't even invested in any kind of program or anything. And so they want people to buy their high ticket service when they have never bought a high ticket service themselves. It's
That
like that.
part. That part. Like, how can you expect someone to invest in your business when you don't even invest in your business? That's
Yeah.
crazy. That is so crazy.
Yeah.
And I wonder,
Yeah.
you said the word sacrifice, and you said, I don't like not even sacrifice, but it is. Are you willing
Yeah.
to sacrifice to get to
Mhm.
where you want to go? Because I will
Yeah.
say, and I've said this on social, IG, all over the place, I started my business on my phone because I didn't have internet and we
Right.
had no cable. Like we were, I had 3 little kids. We were on WIC. Like I had nothing.
Yes.
Like we had nothing. And
Mm.
all I had was a dream. And it was like, okay, we ain't got cable, we ain't got internet, but I'm gonna figure out how to make this work, you know?
Right.
And it's what are your priorities? Do you want
Yes.
bad enough? Because and if you can't afford to do it, the fact is
Yeah.
you can't afford not to do it. If
Yep.
you cannot
Yep.
afford to invest in your business, then you are at a place where you cannot afford not to invest in your business because if you don't, nothing's ever going to change. So,
Yeah.
oh my
Yeah.
gosh, Crystal, I
Yeah.
truly appreciate, I just appreciate all of you. Like I said, you're killing it. I'm so, so, so proud of you. You've gone from 2K months to 20K months in just a
Yeah.
matter of a couple of months. And because you decided to invest and you did the work, like most
Yeah.
importantly, you did the work.
Yeah.
So I'm so excited to just watch
Yes.
you to continue to grow and watch K and Co become this agency and everything that you've envisioned because it is absolutely possible. And I'm just waiting for it to to be
She's
realized.
like, I'm just
Like
watching, girl.
just watch it. Yes. Um, so I'm gonna add I'll have a place where if people want to reach out they'll be able to go check you out as well. I'm gonna link you on Instagram. Is there anything else you want to add or I mean I feel like you've just
I
been
just
giving me
want
your whole soul right
to
now, so
like, I just want to say thank you for really, I mean, from the bottom of my heart, because like I said, this has been life changing and it's not just a program to me. It's literally like something that has grabbed me by the shoulders and like changed my life. So literally, I thank you for being just so open and being so vulnerable, and being so transparent and giving us what we need and not being the type of person that's going to hold back and not tell us things, just I just appreciate that transparency and that giving spirit that you have. So I thank you so much.
I hold nothing back. It's all I'm an open book. If it don't work, I'm gonna tell you. If it works, I'm gonna tell you. So. I just again, I'm so proud of you. I'm so excited for you, and I'm watching. I'm watching.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Crystal.
All right. Bye-bye.